He did!
The Marvel Cinematic Universe is still going within striking distance of 20 years since it began in 2008 with Iron Man. With 2025 already seeing the debut-ish of Sam Wilson's Captain America in Captain America Brave New World, with May being set to feature Thunderbolts, and July seeing the return of Marvel's first family, the Fantastic Four. And next year we are set to see the grand return of our favourite heroes all together in Avengers Doomsday. I mean, that sounds amazing. That sounds like so much. It would be amazing if I could care about it. But as we get into this, be sure to comment, like and subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. First up is Thunderbolts, which sees a motley crew of B and C list characters, featuring a cast of actors that aren't really A-listers, but aren't really unknowns either. You've got Florence Pugh, Sebastian Stan, what's his name? And with a budget of 180 million, double that for marketing, and it could be liable to break even, maybe? Depending on the quality level of the film, if it does well with word of mouth, it could at least break even. I don't expect it to, you know, reach billions, but it could do fine. With it being among the lowest in terms of Marvel's budgets, it's safe to say that Marvel are really hedging their bets with this one. Up to the great failures that have been things like Ant-Man Quantumania, The Marvels, and Thor Love and Thunder, it's safe to say that Marvel are trying to hedge their bets with this one. And especially when you consider the hit they took with Snow White in March, yeah, you can bet that Disney are really trying to recoup their losses. Meanwhile, we have Fantastic Four, which stars Pedro Pascal, as everything does these days. And you know, I might actually be liable to give Fantastic Four a watch, because by a look at the trailers, it does look like a good time at the movies, and I would be more liable to maybe purchase a ticket for it. But the main factor when it comes to the Fantastic Four is that it's going up against the new Superman, directed by James Gunn. And I know this may not be a outstanding metric, but looking at the community tab, when I ask people which July movie they were looking forward to, Superman, Jurassic World, or Fantastic Four, and the results were a landslide for the Man of Steel. Either that says something about you guys, or that's a pretty good metric for what the overall tone is going into July, of what people are most likely to see. I mean, I don't want to put words in anyone's mouth, but it could serve as evidence for just the general apathy that has spread around Marvel in these days. I mean, it's not as though I've seen any great outpouring of adulation for any of the most recent Marvel projects. Not for Captain America, Daredevil Born Again, which people were clamouring for ages. I mean, there was some when Daredevil Born Again first came out, but then after that, it really petered off. No one cares about Thunderbolts, and I've heard really not a lot of chatter when it comes to the announcement for the cast for Doomsday, so either that says something about where I'm getting my information from, or it says something about the general tone of what people are thinking when it comes to Marvel, or rather, lack thereof. When it comes to that apathy, I've heard it bandied about a lot about superhero fatigue. That people are fed up with superhero movies, that people want to watch something else, that people are clamouring for the superhero bubble to burst already and let's just get something else in here already. And going back to the evidence of the poll I put out, I don't think that's the case. Because people want to watch superhero movies, they just don't want to watch Marvel movies. Do I think therefore that it is a superhero fatigue? No. I think more likely that it's just a bad movie fatigue, plain and simple. Because there was a great outcry for adulation when it came to Deadpool and Wolverine last year, and for Spider-Man No Way Home, when that was a thing in 2021, people were loving that. But then after a time there was a reassessment of those movies, and the kind of realisation that more than anything those movies were reliant on nostalgia, on member berries, on seeing something that's familiar, and that being a reason for acclaim. And it seems that Marvel is trying the same trick once again with Avengers Doomsday by bringing in the original X-Men cast. Using nostalgia and familiarity can be a good thing. It can be like a garnish. It can be a great thing to add as a little bit of extra flavour, but if you have it overpower anything else, any other sense of storytelling, any sense of character, of progression, of motivation, then what do you have? People are clamouring for untold stories and, oh hey, it's my book. How did that get there? Because what do we have out in the Marvel movies these days, aside from member berries? We have characters that we barely connect to. We have no real protagonist for the MCU. Used to be Tony Stark, now it's no one. No sense of overarching story. No overall sense of theming or tone. In the same way that Tony Stark was the protagonist of the Infinity Saga, who is the protagonist of these phases of the MCU? Phases 4, 5 and onwards. Who is the protagonist? Who has filled that role that Tony Stark left? No one. That's why they're bringing him back. I've got to be honest here, I haven't actually seen any of the Marvel movies since Endgame. Because I haven't even seen No Way Home, and you would think I would have done by now. But I just haven't. I just don't care. I'm liable to see Superman in theatres depending on if I have the money for it. But do I care enough to really follow the MCU anymore? To really track it out? I mean, there was a video I had planned ages ago of trying to fix phases 4 and 5. Of trying to reorganise the movies, of trying to rejig them so it would actually work. And you know what? I stopped. Because I realised very quickly, I don't care. I don't care anymore. Have I reached the point of apathy? Do I have Marvel fatigue? I don't know. All I do know is I'm going to be spending my movie tickets on films I actually care about. What do you make of Marvel? Comment down below with your thoughts. Will you be seeing Thunderbolts? Will you be seeing Fantastic Four? Or will you be saving your pennies for Superman? Let us know down below. But until next time folks, thank you for watching and be seeing you.